Welcome to the Hockey Hour. We're back for another week, and a week that has been huge in WA hockey. Jace Gabriel here with you, and of course alongside me, former hockey rude Jane Claxton. Welcome, Jane.
Thank you. Yes, another exciting weekend. Didn't go in our favour, but we move on.
It was a well, you're probably lucky if you played Saturday.
Oh,
Saturday was
before I
glorious.
was running along the foreshore Saturday, I was like annoyed that I was about to play on.
I woke up Sunday and was like, I'm happy I played this today. I don't know if I could actually get warm.
No. It was so interesting.
It would have been a day for lathering up with the deep heat. But we have a great show lined up. We've got all the Hockey WA news coming up. We've got Jasdev Singh from North Coast Raiders. We will also chat to Jane for another Inside the Circle segment. And then extra time this week, we've got one for the umpiring fraternity, but we will leave that for the time being. Can also confirm that camera is stable this week. Jane's left hand will no longer have to be raised to turn it on.
What I was doing.
So we can confirm that the camera is stable for the time being. The time being, but I hope you enjoyed the little reel or the actual show if you watched the video of the show. The blinkers of me on and off. But let's start with the Hockey WA news, Jane, and the under-18s future squads have been announced.
Yeah, so anyone that doesn't or isn't familiar with the, ranking system in Australia, there is a under-18 futures squad, and they basically earmark boys and girls that are under 18 that are a potential to be in the Australian team, hopefully by 2032 for the Olympic Games. It allows them access to their local institute, support systems in place, development, obviously, and so they try and get them as young as possible to try and get them the resources they need to develop. And obviously there's usually one person from every state, more from different states, just to allow that spread of talent. Western Australia, very lucky to have 9 selected in these squads, with the under-18 futures men having Arjun Bryan, Harley Muir, Max Nelson, Jonah Pilardi, Harrison Regan, and Izzy Workman. And then the under-18s futures women having Bella Connolly, Grace Powell, and Madison Woods. So congratulations to all those kids. It's an exciting time of your life when you start getting earmarked in these types of roles. So I'm sure they're excited to step in the 2025-2026 futures squads there.
Notice Max Nelson's sock.
I know. I was going to say that.
I saw that on UWA social media. They've gone with Sauce, son of Shaney. So hopefully that's something that we brought to the table. But surely they've worked it out before. But congratulations to those 9 athletes. More national news is the under-14 state team head coaches have been announced for the under-14 national tournaments, and for WA Boys Gold, it's Adam Arnold. WA Boys Black, it's Mitch Russell and the legendary Neil Horgood. WA Girls Gold is Chanel Vuletic. WA Girls Black is Jade Kearns and Keith Old. And this year's championships will be held in Brisbane in a lovely part of the year, 5th to the 11th of October. So a toasty one for the 14s.
Bit and toasty. What more can you want?
But congratulations to those appointments of coaches. And I'm sure we'll be seeing their teams announced in the coming weeks. But something to look forward to once, the season finishes, I suppose.
Should be well primed for it. And then more on the international waters, Pakistan have received a formal invitation to join the FIH Pro League. So obviously, if you're not aware, Hockey New Zealand notified the International Hockey Federation, or FIH, of their decision not to participate in the next FIH Hockey Pro League men's season, despite having won the FIH Hockey Nations Cup, which is below Pro League, last month. And so in accordance with regulations, they extended the invitation to the Nation Cup's runners-up, which was Pakistan. So they potentially are joining the Pro League edition 2025-2026 season. I think they have until the 12th of August to notify FIH of their decision. So that'll be a very interesting addition to the travel calendar for the Kookaburras.
Yes, it'll be fascinating if Pakistan do accept where they play their home games. Obviously, a few political issues going on at the moment. So I think we were just saying it could be an opportunity to sell their games to a different country.
Would be
potentially. But also, we have spoken previously on an extra time segment earlier in the season about Pro League and whether it works. And unfortunately, for Hockey New Zealand, it's not the best option for them.
Yeah, not financially viable, which is understandable.
Yes, absolutely. But they will be here very, very soon in the top end in Darwin for the Oceania Cup. So we'll have news about that very, very shortly. Jane, time for the mailbag. Now, we have some cracking questions this week. Thank you to those who have provided them to us, a couple of anonymous ones. But question number 1 from, I want to say it's Manor in the Works.
Yeah, how are you going to split up? I hate when they all combine.
Manor in the Works, I'm going to go with.
Yeah.
Thoughts on Masters hockey in WA? Now, you play.
So I do.
A little bit of Masters hockey.
Midweek Masters. I kept calling it vets, and apparently that's a no-no.
That's derogatory.
Yeah, you're meant to call it Masters, so here I am. But yeah, I think it's very strong in WA. I'm not too sure what the intent behind this question is, but I think my dad literally moved here because he loved the fact that the Masters presence in WA is so huge. And like every week on a Wednesday, you'll see the Masters out.
My dad too.
12 or whatever time they usually make it, depending on the weather. Doing their thing out there. And then they have the hips and knees, the the stroke, the various different iterations of veterans happening all year round. It's not just during the hockey season. So it's impressive what they do over here.
Oh, I agree. My dad loves it too. He actually stopped playing on grass on Saturdays and just plays midweek hockey on the turf on a Wednesday. So he purposely had finished work early and on a Wednesday and go and play. So I think it's very strong as well. And it leans on nicely to the National Masters Championships, which have, I think it's over 35 to, there's an over 80 competition.
Yeah, there is now.
And that's coming up. So that's in Tassie, end of September to the start of October. That tournament is hopefully going to be sponsored by Luco and Physio Cream, because that is not.
Have you ever been tempted to, have you gone to a National Masters?
Yes, when it was here, so I didn't go anywhere. But I did play in a Masters over 35s. Very good, yeah. It was good to reconnect with some guys that I'd played, junior hockey with, and a little bit of AHL in the day. So Glenn Turner plays.
Lovely.
Yeah, so he plays, and I think he's represented Australia in the Masters, and they play like a trans-Tasman with New Zealand. So, yes, it's a great opportunity to catch up with, former opponents, I suppose. But it is a slog, though.
I did get the polite ask for the over 34s, which is so specific. I thought it was 35s, but apparently they dropped it down. But unfortunately, I'm participating in Hockey One, which is at the same time.
Are you? Fascinating.
So,
just telling them that you're better than Masters. Jane.
No, I said it's a different version of hockey I'm engaging in.
No, I think it's the Masters hockey is fantastic in WA, and it's very well represented nationally as well for those national championships. So, Manor in the Works, thank you for your question. This one is anonymous. It's got a little bit to it. So, hockey faces competition from other sports such as the AFL, AFLW, and basketball, which have the largest participation numbers across Australia. However, Basketball WA, as an example, states in their annual report that numbers have remained steady as associations struggle with venue capacity and limited resources. Is there an opportunity to attract some of these players waiting to play to address the decline in junior ranks, e.g. a Why Wait, Let's Play campaign? That's from Anonymous. What do you think?
That's quite... I love the Why Wait, Let's Play campaign. You should be in charge of something, Anonymous. It's so hard. It's so hard. It's also like you look at why kids play certain sports, and it's because they're publicized, they're on the TV, they have their idols. Basketball, for example, played in the US, they see various amount of fame and notoriety for those athletes over there, and then same for AFL. Like you're competing against these conglomerates that just able to naturally breed interest in their game through celebrity status. So that is always going to be hard. But a way in could be, hey, we actually have the facilities. You can play at your local park.
Yep.
That's great.
I guess if hockey is going to try and attack those leftover kids, so to speak, who can't play basketball or whatever, you go through the schools, right? Which I think most clubs do in their area. I remember Vic Park did it. Our Minky program was very small, and then over 5 years, I mean,
it's
Fletcher
huge.
Park, it's massive now. So
Can't walk your dog.
yeah, no, you can't. No, much to your disappointment.
Yeah, so annoying. Oh, they get hit by a hockey ball.
But it's a fascinating one. I think you're completely right with being able to compete with sports that are just global and televised and just everywhere. Probably the difficulty we have, but I love the campaign.
So we need to put more pressure on some clubs that don't have junior programs to start stepping up, because I actually think it's deplorable if you have a Premier League team and you're not.
Agree.
You are not contributing to the junior.
100%.
So they need to start going and saying, okay, we're going to host coaching clinics in schools. If we can't have junior development programs because of some reason, you then have to hit a quota of doing coaching clinics in schools.
Completely agree.
Because I think there's too few clubs propping up Hockey WA juniors development, and those juniors then develop, and then those clubs that don't have junior programs poach those people.
Yep.
But don't add to the community at all. So
I agree. Thank you for your question, Anonymous. Question 3 from Steve. He's keen to get our thoughts on the ejection rule for penalty corners. Now, this is a good question. A break by the defensive team results in an ejection with no replacement, whilst the attacking team lose the injector, or the person who pushes out, who can be replaced. The argument that injection is a specialised skill is valid. However, you could equally argue that first and second runner and postie are also specialised skills. Good drag flickers seem to be able to fetch the ball from an errant injection and still get a shot off. So what if one of the drag flickers was ejected instead? Steve, I am
so on board.
I am on board.
Funny. I get so annoyed as a defender when they break, whoever breaks, and you're in the defence being like, oh, sick. Okay, you just replace someone from the halfway line. Great. Like, there's no error. What's it? Mind blank. There's no ramifications for a skill error.
No, I'm on board with this because first and second running is incredibly difficult. And
you couldn't pay me.
I used to, when you come up through the ranks and you're like, you have to have a PCD skill. And I'm like, I can first run, and now, like, that was like 10 years ago. Like, nowadays, I'm like, no way. Like, no way. I'd be like, if anything, I'm a head man and just like standing outside the post and hoping that nothing falls in the vicinity. But that is an absolutely specialised skill, as is the postie, as Steve does mention. Maybe the postie not as utilised as much, depending on where the drag flicker is flicking. But first and second runner, you are setting yourself out there, waiting to be absolutely hammered. And then if it hits your foot, you go and have to go do it again.
The time. Please.
Yes. So I'm all for this. Remove one of the drag flickers.
Yeah.
And I think that's mostly...
You get to pick. Because like in our team, we have 2 drag flickers, but one's definitely, if you're going to pick the 2 batteries, one's probably our preferred than the other. So
yeah, I would agree.
You just eject whoever broke, and then you don't get a replacement. So if it's an injector, like, you don't get a replacement from the halfway line, you have to make up with whoever's on the
circle. That could be an option. I just love the remove the drag flicker because because I get what Steve's saying. If the runner breaks, then he has to go. And that's a massive advantage, right? So the flip of it is, if the drag flicker goes, that's the advantage to the defence. Like, it's your problem for... You shouldn't ever break.
No. So silly if you have.
It's maybe a balk from a pusher, potentially, but you should never break if you're like not even involved in the corner.
Yeah.
As the like deflector. What are you running in for? Like, what this
aggressive
is. So I would just say, you 2 drag flickers figure out who's going to go. If the best one stays, fine. But I reckon, work it out.
Then we know what battery.
Yes, an advantage. So no, that's a great question, Steve. I like that. and make sure you, if you're listening, give us your thoughts on who should go from the attacking team. Let's go to number 4. This is also from an anonymous provider. In top-level sport, you often hear of coaches that have brought together the playing group or conversely lost the playing group. Have you had an experience with either of these, or if so, what was it that they did/didn't do that sticks with you till today? I've got one.
Ooh.
2012, in our premiership year, coached by Craig Wilson at the time, second last game of the year, and we were out at Shenton. We played YM. I think we were in the top 3 at the time. We lost the game 4-2. We didn't play badly. They were just a bit better. They got into the change room, and I remember Craig Wilson just absolutely unleashing on us. He absolutely fed it to us and just, picked out different players and, was pretty aggressive with the post-match. And we were like, what? Yeah, what is going on? Like, what? And he was like, because it was like, so there was some personal goes at us sort of thing, and I think I caught one of them. We were on the way home. A few of us had come together, and we were all in different cars on the way home. We've rung each other on the. I think one of the things was that you guys drink and party too, and we rung each other on the way home, and we're like, all right, what are you guys doing? What's the plan tonight? Oh, we're all going to go through Macca's and get fast food, and we're going out on the town, and we did, and but that was a purposeful spray. And it galvanized our group because there were, I'm pretty sure, I don't know if it's that specific.
Sorry, I just had a go at you about drinking and partying too much. Like, guys,
let's do it. Whatever. Let's go and let's just blow off some steam. Because one of those nights there was a famous conversation between a few guys about potentially winning it. So that galvanized our group, and we didn't lose the game after that. I think we won the last game and then won the game to get into the first, and then got through the rest. So that's my story.
Yeah, I think when it's situations like that and it's really constructive and you're pointing out people's flaws and it can be vulnerable, but people have time to self-reflect. That is when it is. I've probably got an example where it isn't, and it's when you're pinning people against each other in the team. And I've probably had 2 coaches over my time that have done that. And I think coaches need to be very aware of how much players chat to each other. And so the first one, we'll probably, they managed to isolate a lot of people in the team, and you just ended up really self-consumed. And constantly the feedback would be like, oh, you're okay, but this person's better, and they do this. And so they would always pin you against people. And I think that's when that really capitulates. And then the other element is when coaches watch to other players about other players. And players will then talk, and then they'll almost communally not like the coach. And so I think coaches need to be very aware when they're talking to other athletes. I think bringing up other athletes in that conversation is when it starts to ruffle the feathers, and players see that as, okay, I can't go to you because if I trust you with anything, you'll tell someone else because that's what you're doing to me right now. And that's all I have as evidence that you're not a trustworthy person. And so that's my experiences on the flip side. I've definitely had positive experience with coach. Incredible when they do the same thing as the similar stories to what you've said, or brought a team I'm in through a really dark time and come out this side and really valued their input. But equally so, I think the common theme I've seen with coaches that don't particularly align with the group is those types of behaviours.
And it's very difficult, isn't it, for a coach, because an athlete will naturally say, but I'm doing something better than this person. And you really just can't buy into it, right? And it's like, okay, well, like, we're not talking about that person. We're talking about you, and you're not hitting this, that, or the other. And it generally will come around selection in those meetings. So, I completely agree. It's once you start talking about others that aren't really concerned, it's a deflection point. And it causes massive issues down the line. So, great question, Anonymous. You've got both sides there from Jane and I, but that's all our questions for the mailbag this week. Of course, keep an eye on the Hockey WA Instagram story to submit your questions, or you can send them to Jane or myself. But let us know your thoughts on the attacking PCA group, that person that should go. Let us know if you have a cool story to share. And let us know if you can obviously get more junior hockey players and steal the
Years.
Yeah, give us a campaign. Why wait? Let's play. I like that. Let's just stick it around schools everywhere in and around Perth, really. So, thank you for your questions, and make sure you get more to us. All right, Jane, let's wrap up the Stiles Electrical Premier League from the weekend. We'll start with the women, and we're going to start with this is a blowout if we've ever seen one. I don't think I've seen a score this big.
Not in Premier.
For a very long time. 15-0 for Lions over Raiders. Georgina Dowd with a double. Jolie Sartorio, I'll get it out, with a single. Priscilla Mattios a single. Ange Chilwell with a hat-trick. Alice Arnott with a double. Chelsea Turner with a double. A hat-trick to Maria Guastavino. And one to Meg McCaffrey. So let's just leave it at that.
Yep. We do not need to discuss it further.
But we move on to, the biggest result of the weekend, Vic Park defeating the undefeated West Side Wolves 2-0. Beatrice,
see it?
I did, yeah. Beatrice Monger-Maloney and Carrie Somerville getting on the scoreboard for Vic Park. And now I didn't fully watch. There were children running around and I was gasbagging. Yeah, I was, and playing with children.
Valid, that's what hockey's.
But there were a lot of circle entries for Vic Park. They controlled a lot of this game from what I saw.
Well, we always know, Vic Park at their full strength is really hard to.
Yeah.
You've got people across all the lines. So it's just unfortunate that either due to injury or absentee or international stuff that you haven't been able to combine all the time. The last time you did it, and you had everyone was against Reds, and I thoroughly enjoyed that day so much.
West Side Wolves were missing Grace Young and Greta Hayes, so dent to their midfield, but they've been beating other teams without them as well.
They put out on the field for the entire season.
Yeah, so some very good players in that Wolves team too, and team still. Geordie Holtzberger, obviously, former Hockey-Roo, and some Thundersticks and Hockey One level players. So this was a really good game of hockey, and Vic Park boost their finals aspirations with a fantastic win, and
they did.
A minor dent in the Wolfpack's train to
too fast to
top of the ladder. Yeah, I don't think she will either. But big result there for the Panthers. We go to Hale, where Hale took on Whitfords, and a comfortable 2-0 victory there for Hale. Lene Milan and Alyssa Melville on the scoreboard.
Lene Milan's goal was a little
very nice.
Light on the Hale Hockey Club Instagram. That was, I think, injected by Mickey Spano. And
yes.
Other little deflection goal. So
I did see that. It was very, very good. Good to see Whitford still just keeping people at bay. They are. I can see Penny played, which would have been massively helpful. Yep. Maddie Brooks in the midfield. So great to see. They're continuing to slowly build with their group. So 2-0 victory there for Hale. Your game, Jane, 4-2 victory for UWA over Reds. Abby Davies and Lucy Sharman on the scoreboard for Reds. Courtney Chanel, and then a hat-trick to Lexi Pickering got the job done for the students.
Yeah. 6-5 PCAs in our favour. That's all I'm going to say. No, definitely not outplayed and not the scoreline that would reflect the game. But when you have people like Courtney Shell up front just taking every opportunity and making something of it, makes it difficult. And so well done to her.
UWA press on with their finals chances, and the final game of the weekend, I haven't refreshed it because I was keeping an eye on it. A 4-2 victory for YMCC over Wasps. So this is I
think maybe you saw this coming, but I didn't.
Yeah, I always forget my tips. I probably shouldn't. But 4-2, a double to Pippa Bairstow and a double to Jade Smith, Sophie Fideau and Eliza Murray on the scoreboard for Wasps. This would have been a good game of hockey, but fantastic result for YM.
I know, yeah. I'm sure they would have been rapt to get that win, especially with obviously Kershaw back in the side. So, great work by them.
Keeps them in touch still with the 5. There's a bit to play, but there was one game that is still to be played. I think Wolves have a game in hand. And
I am in 1 day's time, so
there you go.
That.
So that'll be it. So they still have to play, but Lions sit level on top of the ladder with Wolves on 39 points. Hale moved to 34. Vic Park 28 with their win. And then 25 to UWA, 23 to Reds, 22 to Wasps, and 19 to YMCC. They just enter the picture and keep themselves close enough. So going to be a fantastic end to the season. Matty Radcliffe goalless on the weekend, but still leads the Jackie Pereira leading goal scorer award. Let's go over to the men's side of the competition because this also had some huge results. Starting on Friday night, it was a 1-0 victory for Melville over the previously undefeated Fremantle Coburn.
No, that would have been a huge boost.
Yep, it certainly was. James Day in game 150 getting on the scoreboard, getting one past his good mate, and I believe they're neighbours. Get ready.
Travelled to the game to get.
I did
like shit.
I did see that. It made me laugh. This is a fantastic game of hockey. Melville probably controlled a lot of the game, and probably wasn't until the last quarter that Fremantle Coburn kind of found their straps a little bit, and then had a plethora of corners with inside the last 3 minutes, I think it was. And Hunter Banyard able to keep all of them out. Jack Welsh and Ben O'Grady were attempting to flick and do some reverse deflections, and it was about 3 in a row there at one point. So they could have stolen some points and got another draw, but unfortunately not to be on this occasion. Tim Deven returned.
The elusive Tim Deven.
He will strengthen them. Unfortunately, Matt Bird has injured himself. So
broken hand.
He will be out for a few weeks. So big loss for Fremantle Coburn, but huge for Melville in the context of the season, which we'll get to very shortly. We go to one of Saturday's games and a 4-0 victory for the Panthers over Westside Wolves. All 4 goals in the fourth quarter, if you don't mind. Kai Willett with a hat-trick and Will Battistessa with a single. So that was a good result.
Yeah, pick this. I thought Vic Park were going to come out on top.
We did.
Oh, sorry. Never mind. You
saw yourself out, Jane.
I was looking at it and I was like, yeah, you lost. Oh, never mind.
An absolute shootout at the Hale hockey turf between Hale and Whitford's 4-4.
I never want to defend it more.
Why? Well, why bother? There was hat-tricks all around. Liam Flynn with a hat-trick and Rinto Fukunaga with a single for Hale, and then Fraser Hay with a hat-trick and Tianan Gaffney with the single as well. They got 3 in the last quarter, Whitfords, to tie the game, and there's a likelihood.
Tom Craig coming back into that side and him and Fraser working side by side, probably being the fastest in the competition.
It's a scary thought with on a break with one of them running and then the other coming from the other side and steamrolling whoever is in their way. Thankfully, we have to play Whitfords actually, so I might stay clear of those two. It was a 3-1 victory for North Coast Raiders over Mods Old Guildford. A double to Connor Irwin and a single to David Beavers. Robbie Horn got one in his milestone game. Pierce Painter also in his game, in game 150 for Mods Old Guildford. We're going to chat to Jazz Singh, their captain, shortly, but it's always nice to get points over the other teams around you.
Definitely. And that's what he'll say, I'm sure.
Wasps and YMCC. A 2-1 victory to YMCC, cracker of a game at the Perth Hockey Stadium. Charlie McIntyre on the board for Wasps, Cooper Burns and Liam Hart on the scoreboard for YMCC. And I am led to believe that it could have been 2-2, but Tyler Lovell saved a stroke in the last quarter.
That is the biggest, confidence boost for a goalie, if ever one.
Yep, saved the stroke. So huge for YMCC to continue. Well, now they're pushed to the top of the ladder. But just heartbreaking for Wasps because they miss a golden opportunity to, jump positions, I guess. And then the last game of the round was at Aquinas, and they upset based on ladder position, 5-2 defeating UWA. Andrew Folds with a double, Blake Govers with a double, Jeremy Hayward with a single, and Harry Golding with a double for UWA. Did you catch this game?
Yeah, they didn't play the full game. It got called off in the late third quarter, I think.
Okay.
Early fourth with lightning. So, and then the downpour came. So then the pitch was unplayable. Yeah, but nice game to watch. I would argue when I was watching that Reds had most of the kind of attacking opportunities. I think UWA might have been missing.
Yes, looks like they're missing Tom Wickham on this list.
Gives them a lot more firepower up front. So nice game to watch.
Yep.
Got fiery towards the end, but as it always does.
It's great to see Christian Starkey back. He was back in the net, so great to see him back after a long injury. And I think we might have mentioned it last week, but the Spruce Moose is back in town.
Yeah,
so
he was very nice to watch out there. Just so nice on the ball.
He is going to be very important for Reds' push for the finals. But let's look at the ladder. Fremantle Coburn now clinging to top spot, a 1 point advantage over YMCC. They're on 38. YMCC 37. Vic Park now move into third with 35 after UWA's loss. They move to stay on 34. Reds now to 30, and that rounds the top 5. And then the chasers are Melville 27, Hale 26, and then Wasps and Wolves on 24 each. So
the gap is building though between 5th and 6th, 7th, 8th.
It is.
Next few rounds will be crucial.
Certainly will. Liam Flynn with his hat trick now moves even further away from Cooper Burns. 31 goals in the Eric Pearce leading goal scorer award. We should probably go to the fixtures, Jane. I think I missed that for the girls. Let's just quickly run the fixtures for this upcoming weekend. Wolves and YMCC at Lemnos to get us underway. Oh, sorry, no, that'll be tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yes, that's the makeup game.
Yeah.
Wolves should win that.
Yeah, I think so. I think they'll probably want to come out, prove a point, and I really hope so, because then YM don't get closer.
Yes, that could be fascinating. Yeah, it could be fascinating if YM win that game. I think Wolves should. But that game will already be completed once we get the pod out. So we go to the weekend. Lions and Melville. That's going to be a good game.
Yeah, I'm going to say Lions.
Well, yeah, you have to, don't you?
The science tells me.
Lions for me as well. Vic Park and Hale.
I'm going to go, I think Vic Park.
I'm going to say Vic Park as well.
The exact same team as this weekend. Yep. That's the thing, is like we're at the start of the week. The Aussies only.
Yes.
So I just want everyone to know.
That's why Jane's tipping is poor. Whitfords and Raiders. It's a big game. Whitfords could break the duck here. I'm going to go with them.
Yeah, same. If Penny's out there smashing some corners. Yep.
Okay. I love it. Whitfords at home. Reds and Wolves. I know where your allegiance lies.
Trying our best.
If you can score some PCs, you might be all right.
Last time we played them, it was, that we had more PCs, more attacking opportunity. They had like 4 from 4 on PCs, so, and we ended up 4-3. So
I'm going to premise my tip on people playing. Greta and Grace play the Wolves, but if they don't play, I think you might steal it.
If Hockeyroos aren't currently playing, this is my sense on it, is that they won't be playing before Ocean.
Okay, well, I'm going to go with you. I'm going to give you a chance.
Thank you. Although you did that this weekend, so maybe go.
Okay, no worries. You've turned. And UWA and Wasps to round us out. UWA on a bit of a streak. So
they got smashed and then won. So
I'm going to go with UWA.
I'm going to go with Wasp. I think Kershaw will be so annoyed that they've lost 2 in a row. Did she score? She didn't
score, no.
She's piled them up.
Yep. She's, definitely going to be pumped up from Tim's performance as well. That was huge.
She'll be wanting to win back best athlete of the household.
Yes, of course. Yeah. She needs a hat trick, really, doesn't she?
Yep.
Inside, in a quarter.
That's my tips.
Let's go to the men's side of the competition for this weekend. Reds and Wolves gets us underway. Reds, I think, should be too good here.
Yeah. Play for player, you would hope so. But Wolves did perform really well last weekend. So
Melville and Mods Old Guildford. Melville for me.
Yeah, Melville will flag this as a must-win.
Vic Park and Hale.
It'll be nice to watch this. I think I might come out.
Oh, treat. Yeah, can't wait. Hopefully I get a touch.
Yeah. Close. I think you guys could get it though.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Whitfords and Raiders. This is going to be a ripper. I
think Raiders will have difficulty with
I agree.
the Craig element.
The dual bull.
Yeah. I really hope for that they can win, but I think they won't.
Yeah, I'm going to back Whitfords here to get the points, and that will mean if they win, I think they jump positions on Raiders. So Whitfords for me. UWA and Wasps. This is a tough one.
The UWA I saw on the weekend didn't impress me as much as what I've seen previous of them. So depending on who they have in their lineup, and the weather. But I think Wasps are wanting to stay in touch, and so they'll come out firing.
Okay, that'll be fascinating. I'm going to go with UWA. I think at home, and I'm assuming they'll get TJ Wickham back.
Yeah.
So UWA for me, and then to round us out at Lemnos, the top of the table clash with literally the top of the table on the line, YMCC and Fremantle Coburn.
I want YM to win, I think. But I feel like Freo will win.
I think YM will win.
Okay.
I'm not sure if Liam Henderson will be back at some point.
Yeah, I think Freo having that missing Matt Bird element in their midfield, who's a real driver for that aggressive mode, that has hindered them a little bit.
Yeah, I'm going to go YM for me. So that rounds out the fixtures for this weekend. Make sure you get down to support your club, whether they are playing on the grass or the turf, and make sure you support your Premier League teams. Hockey WA is thrilled to have the continued support of Stiles Electrical Services as the naming rights sponsor of the 2025 Premier League men's and women's competitions. With over 25 years of experience in sports lighting, Stiles Electrical Services is committed to supporting hockey's growth in WA by assisting clubs with floodlighting upgrades and strengthening pathways for athlete development. Their ongoing support will help enhance one of the world's strongest domestic hockey competitions, and we cannot thank them enough for their support. Visit styleselectrical.com.au to find out more about Stiles Electrical and how they can help your club. Time to chat to one of our players from the Stiles Electrical Premier League and from the North Coast Raiders men's side of the competition. We've got their captain, Jasdev Singh. Welcome, Jazz.
Thanks, Jace. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us. Great to have you on. We didn't get you last year, so great to have you a part of it. First question we always ask: what is your coffee order?
My coffee order is a small long mat. It's pretty standard.
It
wasn't it is now.
Like a small size?
Yeah, small size.
Okay.
No,
Stick.
okay.
If they ask, topped up, I'd say half topped, but that's getting a little bit pedantic. So
that's not the most pedantic we've had.
I think it's when people do the weird milks and everything, so that's okay.
To be honest, if it's got caffeine in it, I'd be happy with it.
Yeah, true. So take us through the weekend. 3-1 win over Mods. Take us blow by blow. How the guys have come out of that. I'm sure a huge energy boost going into the last few rounds of the season.
Yeah, I like a bit of a grudge match, I suppose. Like those games for us where we're coming up against the couple teams that are in a similar position to us. They obviously have an inflated importance in terms of the results. So probably wasn't the prettiest game, but that can happen sometimes. I think we just did enough good things over the game to get the result we were after. I think the trick with those games is probably just to not change what you're doing too much, right? Like the result matters, but as cliche as it is, it's cliche because it's true. Stick to the process, and I think that's what we did well enough and got the result. And there'll be another one coming up. So
yeah, well, we'll touch on your game this weekend shortly, but let's just talk about your group quickly. A lot of the guys have come back and playing again from last year, but one notable absence is Jamie Rawlings. He was your drag flicker and an import probably from the last couple of seasons. Tell us about the group and I guess maybe a bit of a hole that he leaves as a drag flicker.
Yeah, Yeah, obviously a whole. We really loved having Jamie with us while he was there. I mean, especially those overseas players, like it can be tricky. They're balancing other commitments that they've got. So players come and go. Like we've actually been pretty lucky, and I can't take any credit for it because I'm not involved in this area. But we've been really lucky with our overseas players over the last few seasons. Some guys put in some really good work to lock those guys in before the season. So we've had a few new guys join us. In terms of Jamie specifically, like we've had a new guy come in at the back, Connor Irwin, Irish boy, somewhat like for like a little bit. He's a flicker as well, and he's been flicking a few goals lately. Real calm, composed sort of character at the back. So, yeah, like I said, people come in and out, but our core group stayed more or less the same. And then those overseas players come in and try to add the cherry on top.
Yeah, it's always hard to get good quality international. They send you those little highlight reels, you're like, oh, great. And then in reality, they're like, oh, there's more to hockey than just highlight reels.
Yeah.
You've obviously...
And even...
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, Jan. Even beyond that, obviously there's their value on the field and what they can do, but you want them to share share their knowledge, share their experience as well. And then beyond that, like being off field is such a big part of it, right?
Definitely.
Community sport. So yeah, that's probably where I say yeah, like the guys that we've had have just been ripper blokes. So
oh, awesome. And also talking about ripper blokes, you've got obviously Ash Thomas in the net for you guys. How's he kind of helped defensively for you?
Yeah, well, he can be busy at times, obviously. Yeah, and I've probably got one of the best seats in the house from watching him from defence. Some of the saves and double saves he makes and triple saves he makes can be a bit ridiculous. But again, like we know how good he is between the posts, but like his knowledge and like willingness to share what he knows and help us get better in that way as well has been almost as valuable as all the saves he makes. So no, he's fantastic, and yes, great guy to have a beer with as well.
Love to hear it. Let's talk about your coach, Len Fernandez. He's been there for a few seasons with the group now. What's his philosophy coaching-wise with the group? And I guess if he has he adjusted anything year to year, or is it's a very similar approach and you just tinker a little bit here and there?
Yeah, we've had Lenny since I reckon 2021 or something like that. Like he was assistant coach in the season that was severely COVID affected, whatever year that was, 2020 or 21. And then since then he took over. I've said before, and I've said it to him, so I'm not just pumping up his tires. He's been like the perfect man for the job for us, I reckon, in terms of he's a teacher, so he's patient, which is key. He understands the value of, like, he explains things well. Explains rather than just yells. There's a time and place for yelling, but yeah, he's been very good for us in that way, and I think got a lot of respect from the playing group as a result. Yeah, it's a good point, Jace. Like, obviously, as we've evolved, like he's the one who helped us get promoted. Then a couple of years in the league, trying to now build to our next thing, which is to ultimately to become like a genuine contender, you know, and be genuinely competitive. And we're trying to bridge that gap. I think we're definitely making improvement. We are better now than we were last year. I think we're better now than we were start of the year. As that evolves, what we need kind of changes, and that's probably where, again, like Len's been really good in that space, perfect man for the job, and then relying on what I probably touched on, relying on some of our overseas players, relying on Ash and those guys to bring a little bit of extra technical, tactical know-how. But Len's been the guy driving the ship, and he's done that incredibly well.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's great when you kind of get a great fit coaching style to playing group. It makes a huge difference, that's for sure. This weekend, obviously, last weekend, crucial game this weekend, and even more crucial game against Whitfords. Again, just below you on the ladder on 6 points. what's the thought process going into this weekend? It's obviously coming off a big weekend. Going into another one is always hard. But yeah, how's the team looking?
Yeah, the team's looking good. Like they'll have some good players, obviously, so we'll need to be aware of that. Try to keep them at bay. But I don't think there's anything too complex about it. Like the tricks in the execution. It's probably just a case of us focusing on what we need to do and trying to execute the patterns and styles of play that we're going for. I think it'll be a good game. I think there'll be chances both ways. So.
Yeah, they just had a 4-4 draw with Hale, so I think that's marking Tom Craig out of the game time. So
yeah, well, it won't be me. I'll be permanent.
Good man. No, it's going to be an absolute ripper. They've been in some good form, and you've built some now too. So going to be a cracking game this weekend. Look, Jazz, thank you so much, mate, for joining us and giving us an insight into the North Coast Raiders men. Great game this weekend, and we wish you and the boys and Lenny all the very best of luck for the game and the rest of the season.
No worries. Thanks, both.
Okay, Jane, Inside the Circle is back for another episode. We've had some fascinating insights into your life as a professional athlete, semi-professional athlete. We've touched on, obviously, money and finances. We've touched on selection. This week, I want to chat to you about training and what does training look like in the Hockey Roos or during your time. Of course, they, as in the current Hockey Roos, have just gone back to their training block before the Oceania Cup. So what at the top, when you were a part of the group, what was your training times? And I guess, let's go with that first.
Yeah, it changed over the 12 years I was in the program, depending on the coach. So when I first got in, there wasn't much heed paid to having things outside of hockey. And so our training time was like 9 till 12 most days of the week. And then occasionally we would have like an afternoon training that would start at 3-ish and then end at 6. So they were a lot longer when I first came into the program. And then gym was minimum 2 times a week, 3 if you were particularly in need of that. And those would last quite like 2 hours each. And then it kind of, it morphed into we need to allow business hours for them to work, do uni, all of that. So then we would kick off training. I think earliest it would have been as like 5:30 a.m. But now I think it sits around 6.
Yep. And
you usually train for an hour and a half and you're done by 8. And then you probably have recovery or whatever. And most people can get to work by 9. And then, 4 p.m. start in the evenings for those sessions. And then gym is usually quite a lot earlier. Like you would potentially be kicking off at 5:30 those are the days that you would earmark. You can work pretty much a full day.
Yep.
And it's because you would be done by normal like work start hours. Or it would start like 5 p.m. in the evening. So those days were the best days to work. But it changed depending on the coach.
Okay.
But in general, you would train Monday to Saturday, and then in club season, you would drop a Saturday and play your club game in replacement of it.
Yep.
Or wherever your club game sat in on that weekend. And usually it was like Monday's more of a technical session, so you'd be doing skill development, so not as many kilometres were around, not as high intensity, a lot more static skills, working on like your weaknesses. So whether it was overheads, whether it was PCA skills or specialist skills in general, 3D elimination, honing in, trapping, hitting, those types of things. That's usually what a Monday's for. And then Tuesday, Wednesday are your harder sessions. So group sessions, Tuesday usually would notoriously be in our lines and really developing like the way of play through our lines. But it would always end in some form of flow drill or competitive drill. And then Wednesdays was like all competitive, like mini games, like you'd really be put to the sword. You would have conditioning, those types of things. Thursday, usually just a 1 session a day. So that would be just a pure gym day, whereas a Tuesday would be gym and training.
Yep.
And a Friday, again, another predominant mini game, full field game if possible situation. And then Saturdays, if you weren't playing a club session, they would try and do, again, a full field simulation as well.
So did you do any individual sessions amongst that?
Monday was more for that. Yeah, that's when you had more of your individual time to work on whatever you wanted to work on.
Yep.
So that's when, say, drag flickers will go off with a drag flicking coach, and predominantly then. Saying that, probably then I think 1 or 2 other sessions during the week, drag flickers will get pulled out during the session and just go down the other end and do some drag flicking training with a drag flicking coach.
Yep.
Goalies have a slightly different approach to sessions. Like Monday's their high intensity session because it's like when strikers are wanting to do all the drills.
Yeah.
And they will also potentially arrive earlier to training some days and do, that little training box up in PHS in the stand, the cage. They'll go up there and do a lot of their technical development where it's high reps and stuff they need to work on, or whatever Stanny's latest fascination is with the ball machine. So it does vary between player versus goalkeeper in terms of what sessions are more intense, because like the mini games and the field simulations aren't as intense for a goalkeeper, whereas like when we're like, oh yeah, this is a really easy session, is usually the worst session ever for a goalkeeper. So
now let's take a leaf out of BA's book, because he would have been looking at this, but what would K's look like for a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday session?
Yeah, Monday you'd probably max out at 4, and that's a lot of walking as well. So your high intensity meters are really low, and so you'd max out at probably a 4-kilometer session. The Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday sessions, which are more match sim or high intensity drills over a longer distance, you would be wanting to look towards the 6 to 8.
Yep.
And plenty of high intensity meters in there. And if you weren't getting high intensity meters, then you'd do top up running to simulate that. Or if you weren't getting enough kilometers, you'd do top up running to simulate that. So when I mean high intensity meters, probably is a buzzword, but that's like how far you're covering over a 5-meter period. And so you get a breakdown in data, and there's a live GPS. And so people's names will get read out at the end of training. You're like, no. And so if you needed high intensity meters, that means you're doing like sprints.
Yep.
Whereas if you're just needing overall kilometers, then you're doing longer reps, whether it's like a shuttle scenario where you like 25 return, half return, full field return. Or the worst one I think we used to do was we called 4-3-2-1. You'd do 4 full laps, 3 3/4, 2 halves, 1 25.
This doesn't excite.
It was the most boring thing, but they love doing it to get kilometers up. So that's kind of the kilometer average. And like I think I look at people and they like doing 9 to 10 Ks in a hockey game. It's just you shouldn't be doing that amount of, like, you're either running around stupidly, or you're not playing smart hockey. And so they never really wanted us to do a heap of kilometers per game on weekends. You want to, they love the high intensity meters because that's what is making you dynamic in a press and getting to contests and things like that.
What would you average then as a midfielder, kilometers wise, when you did the Wednesday sessions?
Probably 7 to 8.
7.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And unfortunately, that would be including warm up. But when we get our GPS data, they don't include warm ups. So we lose a lot of 1.5 kilometer of warm up as well.
Okay.
So that's just you'd probably sit 6 to 7 just of hockey. Yeah.
What did recovery look like then? You said you would have done it after a session, but then extra on top of that, what would that be on athlete, or would you do group things together?
No group commitments. A lot of us have recovery boots, which are the compression boots that are intermittent, like constrict and expand along your legs. A lot of us will sit in them watching TV at night, rollering, stretching. Some people do Pilates, yoga. Ice baths are kind of a give and take each session, depending on how you're feeling, as to if you engage in that. Some people go through light recovery jogs if that's their thing, and massage is the other one. But that's all optional. All of those I've listed are there's no requirement, but you're best to do it. Otherwise, you have quite a short duration as an international athlete. Your body's your tool. So you have to put time and effort into making sure that tool is sharpened and shined and all of that for each day and each training and week on week.
Did you enjoy an ice bath?
No.
No?
No. I think for the last 3 years of my career, I did not do one single ice bath after trainings. I'll do it on tour because I had to. But I preferred like other means. And look, you can write to me and tell me the science of it, but women doing ice baths, there is also proof that it is not great for your recovery as well. So yeah, come at me.
I love an ice bath.
Yeah.
For a certain amount of time. But I love that. Hopefully that gives everyone a great insight into what the Hockeyroos are doing at the moment and the Kookaburras. It'd be slightly different to obviously what Jane is explaining to us, but it is a pretty big load, right? And it's a big requirement. It's why you are picked. It's what you want to do. It's what you're striving for. So the ability to get out of your body, like you said, what you want, and to make sure you're meeting standards is a big requirement. And mentally, it's probably challenging as well, I would imagine, especially if you're having to do extra top-up stuff like that.
Those are the days you're like, why? But I think, and going on what BA said last week, if you are a junior looking at wanting to pursue hockey at the international level, get your body so robust.
Yes.
I was very, very fortunate to be in Sassy at a young age and already doing gym and a lot of the strength and conditioning work that allowed my body to withstand as long as it did. There's too many people, I think, that are in an institute or potentially not in an institute transferring into the international program that aren't robust enough. And if you aren't in the gym and working on a lot of those movements and plyos and dynamics and being a strong person, and that's lifting weights, you see a lot more of them get chronic injuries. And so I couldn't stress that enough. I think that's what helped me in my career, minimise the amount of injuries I had, especially soft tissue ones. There's a few that you can't help, broken bones, whatever. But yeah, if I was one thing I could stress to the younger population is take that stuff seriously.
Yep, 100%.
The movement patterns you learn and to move correctly and biomechanically will help you far beyond a lot of other things.
Absolutely. Get the advantage that you can. And look, if you can't get to a gym, mobility stuff off YouTube is just as good. It'll just keep you playing for longer, which is exactly what I'm sure everybody wants. Fantastic. Thank you, Jane. Inside the circle for this episode. Let's finish off with extra time. And this week, I said at the start of the show, we touch on the umpire fraternity. Now, I want to know your thoughts on adding a third umpire on the field. So
where would they be positioned?
Well, I have this thought that
like the roaming footy umpire.
Well, of course, it's going to be hard for them to run through the middle of the field because the game moves quickly. But they would still stay on the outside and maybe rotate through with each other. So as the ball goes from one end to the other, the umpire on the furthest end would go up into the 25. So you'd have two umpires in the 25, and then they would have to sort of they rotate around.
Yeah.
My thought on it would be that, one, you've got more angles to see because you've got three people. And then you're probably just not missing as much. The angles are the biggest thing in hockey, right? Like if you think about a penalty corner that's missing or not missing, it's hit a foot and whatever it is on the line. That's hard to see from the halfway line. But so you could then position two umpires, maybe one in the middle, one just on an angle potentially, probably on the left side, I would say, even if it's just slightly off. And I would probably have them both on the 25 rather than the halfway line, or even just halfway in between, be a bit closer. Because let's be honest, like no one ever looks at you breaking from halfway, right? So
they're more looking for the height of like the first shot.
Correct. And to be able to see how close the first runner is, you need to not be directly behind the flicker, right? Because you're never going to be able to tell that distance. And I think that's more angle is what I'm kind of going with. The other part to it is I think just let them blow whatever they see, and then if they misconstrue or disagree, it's the umpire closest to the ball gets the decision.
Yeah.
Because we often see that they're not allowed to blow in the other circle.
Which is so ridiculous.
Just blow it. I reckon
it's so ridiculous. You should call time and be like, hey, you've stuffed up there.
Yeah, or they like put their hands down here and say, no, it's a penalty call. just go,
Beep, 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 beep.
just blow your whistle and go, that is a penalty corner. Hit that person.
There's so many intricacies to umpiring that I'm probably not aware of, even though I have an umpiring brother, but like where they stand.
Yes.
And I also think fitness takes a huge element into it. They're not
Agree.
as fit as there's a few that are, and I do follow them on Strava, so I know that they are. There's majority aren't as fit as a field athlete, and trying to keep up with Tom Craig, like, good luck.
Yeah.
Even the field athletes aren't.
Yep.
And so, yeah, having someone that's already ahead of the play,
Yep.
So that you have that extra angle, I think would actually potentially be very valuable as well.
I agree. Extra umpire, let us know what you think. I think it'd be a great tool to test at Hockey One. Because that's where it's going to be the quickest in Australia. And it also then allows you to not have whoever is the resting umpire or the third umpire come out onto the field. You just get the people, one of them, you'll carry a stopwatch, or most people carry a watch anyway. The tech official can come out, or whoever, or even the fourth umpire would be, comes out. They're keeping an eye on it. Tech official can be wherever they need to be. And then you're sorted for the conversions or the 1v1s. So I'm all about getting an extra.
It does, yeah. I think there would be logistics to work through, but I think it's a good idea. Just based on what's being missed currently is actually due to poor positioning, because they're trying to cheat a little bit because they know maybe they can't keep up, so they'll stand further away.
Yep.
Like, you've got umpires standing beyond the halfway when it's in the circle, and you're like, this is, you can't help the other umpire. You're so far away, but you're waiting because if we do get a break, you need to be ready. And so, I feel for some umpires if they're not getting well supported by their co-umpire because of it.
Yep. And I think one of the great things they've brought out, and I think your brother gave it to me in commentary on Friday night, was the actual extra headset that himself and Jackson Geddes were communicating through. So on the commentary, it wasn't obviously going live to air, but if there was a conversation, I could just quickly pop that in my ear and listen to what they were saying, or listen to what Matt was saying to another player. So it was brilliant, and I think that's a massive tool to use. Look, even if it's a walkie-talkie, right? Like, so they've got a walkie-talkie just going.
Hey, that was real bad. Real bad.
But I think the communication from that side, especially if, positioning is further away, I think can certainly help. But if you add the third in, then you've got two people who are in and around the 25 looking at most things, and then maybe you make the one person just the runner.
Yeah. Go fetch the ball. Yeah. No, I agree. And plenty of other sports have multiple umpires, and they've got smaller pitches. So. Yep.
It's I think 4's too many.
Oh yeah.
I think 4's probably too many
to each other, and
yes. Oh, they had
whistles. And...
I think 3 can work. I think it can work. But look, let us know your thoughts. Of course, this is not a dig at our umpires. It's just a way to help them to officiate the game a little bit differently.
I think overall help them.
I agree. Yeah. Certainly understand that numbers at a community level is difficult for umpires. So this is something certainly for Hockey One, I think. Definitely something for Hockey One. But maybe it's, if you have any thoughts on umpiring and you'd like to share them, especially with regards to positioning and maybe fitness and, anything else, or actually whether you think that either of the umpires can blow the whistle for a decision, let us know. Hit us up on the socials. But that's our show for this week, Jane.
Lovely.
Been a good one.
Quick and easy.
Certainly has been. Thanks to Jasdev Singh for joining us on the Stiles Electrical Premier League player segment. We also have had Jane talk about a training regime with the national teams. But make sure you follow us on YouTube, on Spotify, on Apple, wherever you get your podcasts, or would like, if you'd like the video. And I can guarantee the video is pristine this week. Jane's left arm has been well and truly relaxed.
That's why we lost, as I was so...
Left arm was
fatigued.
Look, thank you for all your support. We very much appreciate your questions, and please keep them coming. Follow Hockey WA on Instagram. You can catch the reels, you can catch all the highlights, and everything, keeping yourself up to date with what's happening in Hockey WA. Thank you, Jane.
Thank you, Jace.
Thanks for your company. We'll chat to you next week.